What's up, guys? Thank you for joining me for another episode of J Spark Garage. In this episode, I'm going to show you how I saved my SRT8 300 transmission and went from this, yeah, that's not good, see that right there, to this. Stay tuned. So here's what happened about 5 months ago. I was driving along. Next thing I know, the car just shifted into neutral by itself. Dash still showed that I was in drive, but wouldn't go anywhere. At that time, I pulled over, checked all the usual stuff. No fluid leaks, nothing like that. Shut the car off, turned it back on. What do you know? Went back into gear. I was able to drive about a quarter of a mile down the road and shifted right back into neutral. After that, I ended up having to tow the car back to the garage. In this video, I'm going to show you how I troubleshoot and repair the issue. Let's get started. On Chrysler 300's, this is the transmission fluid dip tube, but when you pull out the plug, there's no dipstick. That's right, Chrysler does not provide a dipstick for your transmission. The fluid is very temperamental and it's based on temperature, and currently there's no factory way to view the transmission's temperature without a scan tool. I happen to have a couple things. I have a transformer that shows me the transmission temperature. I also have some computer software that shows me the transmission temperature. So we're going to check it. What you need is this right here. Ordered it from Rock Auto or Amazon. It's a little measurement. What happens is you bottom this out on the transmission oil pan and it measures in millimeters how high up the fluid is. Now again, it's very dependent on transmission temperature. I have a printout here that we use. Very first chart is the nag 1. If you can see that, you have your temperature on the bottom and your fluid level on top. And see, as the temperature goes up, the fluid level goes up with it. You have a min and a max, and that's what we're going to shoot for. So let's go check the fluid. We're going to get the car warmed up, and I'll be right back. Guys, I hope you can hear me over the supercharger line. But I got it warmed up. It's about 100 degrees. We're going to check the fluid. That sitting about 65, 66 millimeters. I'm gonna wipe it off and check it again. Now we're up to about 70. Let's go check the temperature. We have to put it in reverse. As you can see, temperature of the transmission is about 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Come back over to our chart. 100. We go up. Target should be around 40, 38, 40 millimeters. So we've got a problem. At this point, we're going to drop the transmission pan, examine the oil, pull the filter, pull the valve body, replace the conductor plate, and add new fluid.
This transmission oil pan doesn't have a drain plug, so we're going to try and use this little pump and get out as much of the fluid as possible so I don't make as much of a mess underneath the car.
Now you see we start underneath the car at the 30-pin connector. I did not get a chance to film an important part. This 30-pin connector, once you remove the plug, is a 7mm bolt inside of it that you must remove. This removes it from the conductor plate and allows you to drop the valve body.
This is the main plug for the transmission. I've got to turn this counterclockwise, and this just easily comes out. This plug is covered in oil. I'm not sure if that's normal or not, but we're going to continue on. Next, we have 6 T30 torque bolts to remove the pan. Let's do this. This is the cleanest transmission pan drop I've ever done. We're going to continue on. We're going to drop the filter, maybe cut it open, see what's inside, see if it's clogged with any metal filings or material from the clutch packs. And then we'll be dropping the valve body with these bolts right here and go from there. The conductor plate is on top of the valve body with all the solenoids. I got some bad news. Just got done taking out the filter, looking inside the oil pan, transmission pan, and it's not looking good. Let's check it out. Here you can see the magnet inside the transmission pan. This is used to pick up any metal particles that's running through the fluid. If you notice, the fluid is like gray. That's clutch pack material right there. But if you notice real carefully, on top of that magnet, there's a ton of sludge and metal. Ooh, and big particles. Yeah, that's not good. See that right there? Yeah. I'm thinking the transmission is toast. Look at that sludge. Ooh. Ooh, it's like alive. It's all magnetic. Open up the filter. Still not looking great at all. This is the underside of the filter part that sits against the pan, and everything froze through. If you notice, that is all grimy and metal. That's our culprit. That's why our fluid level was high. The transmission filter was clogged. Therefore, it was not pulling up the transmission fluid it was supposed to. That's why my transmission fluid was high.
This is the point I had to make a very big decision. Do I replace the transmission or go for it, spend a little bit of money, and see if it works? For an all-in price of about $120, I decided to send it. Replace the conductor plate, replace the filter, put some new fluid in, and see what happens. I'm going to have a link below to all the parts that I use to do this fix. After I've dropped the valve body, and I decide to change the conductor plate. This is a common failure point on Mercedes that use the same transmission as the Chrysler, and I figured I might as well replace it while I'm at it.
In the ways of the week, the times complete alone. You're the fact, the cream, the strength in me, I know. And you're driving me crazy. You keep on running late. Slow down, you go too fast now. I'm telling slow down, I can't keep up, love. Your heart is shrinking faster, baby. There's enough to coming out of your mouth, out of your soul, out of your soul.
This is the point I lost some of the footage because the camera overheated and stopped recording. I have reinstalled the valve body, reinstalled the oil pan, installed the 13-pin socket, and then installed the 13-pin plug. Now we just need to add some automatic transmission fluid. At this point, I double check the fluid level and she's ready for a test drive. But first, cold start. There you go. So far, I haven't had a single problem with the transmission. It's been working great. It's been shifting hard, haven't had any slipping, but I know what you're thinking. It was never serviced, right? Wrong. It was just serviced about 20,000 miles ago. I already had new filter, new fluid, and all of that. But things happen. Personally, I think it's just a Band-Aid fix. I'd like to see your comments below of what you think and how long you think it's going to last. I'm going to ride it out. I'm going to take it to the track, take it to the dyno, have some fun with it. If something else happens to it, I'll look into getting a new transmission at that point. But until then, send it. I want to thank you for joining me. Consider hitting the subscribe button. This is my first tutorial video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know there's room for improvement, but you know, it's only going to get better from here. Projects I got in the future are paddle shifters. That'll be fun. I'm going to hack the PCM, add some features that weren't available in the United States. I'm going to do some paint work, chassis mounted splitter. I also have some projects to do on my daily driven Pathfinder with 250,000 miles on it. So consider joining me. Hit the subscribe button. Until then, I hope I sparked an interest. Peace.